It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
Back, ladies and gentlemen. Folks, we have these segments that we like to do. We call them Small Business Spotlights, and it's where we talk to Arkansas small business owners because they're the backbone of our economy. A lot of times, government tax policy doesn't necessarily treat them that way, and so we always like to hear from those who are actually, in the world of business, and not maybe just in different political bubbles that can kind of tend to dull the voice of the people. Joining us now, welcome back to the program. We've got Mr. Tom Lundstrum is with us, Arkansas businessman. Tom, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Paul.
How was your Independence Day?
It was wonderful. We spent time up at Lustrum Village on Beaver Lake and with the family, and just had a great time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had a good time as well. It's always good to reflect on the freedoms and the liberties that we do have because of the men that came before us. I have been kind of talking to you, Tom, on and off, I guess, since January because I've been interested to know what your thoughts are on the Trump tax cuts and how that is affecting your business or maybe your friends' businesses and things like that. And how do you think the economy is doing right now?
From the perspective of our businesses, Paul, we see a real uptick after the tax cuts were announced and took effect. I don't know how it affects my business directly. We've not gotten to that point yet. But just generally in the economy, our business is up nicely in 2018.
Yeah, that's great. Do you think when it comes to there's a psychological component of optimism that certainly exists out there today? I mean, do you think people's behaviors have been altered because of the tax policy?
No doubt about it. I spend a lot of time talking to other business owners. Level of optimism is higher than I've seen it in a long time. I have friends in the automobile business. They're selling more vehicles. There's just a general feeling, and I think it's more than a feeling. It's actual fact that the economy is moving up nicely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is, forever. And listen, I was not a Donald Trump supporter in the primary. I happily voted for him for president. It was the easiest decision I ever had to make. But, forever you've always heard, we just need a businessman. We need somebody who's a businessman to be in the White House and that sort of thing. And Donald Trump is certainly that because his business was in the service industry. And so, as a casino owner or a hotel owner or a resort owner or whatever it was that he was doing, if the middle class wasn't there or the upper middle class wasn't going to and spending money at his places and buying his services, then he didn't do well. So, I mean, to me, I don't hear very many people making that connection, but I think that's one of the reasons why things are working so well and people are having this optimistic, and I do think the tax cuts are a big thing. I think we got to do something about the gas prices, but he's working on that. But I think it's because his experience in the service industry makes him that cliche that you always hear, we just need a businessman in the White House. I mean, he is actually proving that to be true. Do you agree with that?
I think that's certainly a big component, and it's probably animated by the fact that because of that, he is not bound by the typical shackles of your run-of-the-mill politician who thinks only inside that political box.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like you. I didn't support Donald Trump in the primary, happily voted for him for president. And what got me excited about his candidacy is I saw him to politics what Uber is to cab drivers. He's a disruptor, and it's driving him nuts.
I love that. That's a really good analogy. Do you kind of bringing things down to Arkansas level? Do you, they're having the task force meeting and they're coming up with a lot of ideas and things like that. But I have been an advocate of reducing or completely eliminating actually the corporate income tax in Arkansas. I think it would do a lot of stuff. It would treat a lot of these businesses equally. Sometimes you have a big business that maybe gets taxpayer funding or subsidies in order to come and locate here. And if you just took the money that we spent on that and used it to maybe offset or eliminate the corporate income tax altogether, I mean, they're all big about offsets apparently. I think it would treat everybody the same, and I'm just wondering, I mean, have you ever thought about that? Would it be good to just eliminate the Arkansas corporate income tax, or the corporate tax, rather?
Corporations don't pay taxes. They pass that along to their consumers one way or another, and so I think it would be a wonderful opportunity for businesses to invest money in research, development, expand their businesses, pay their people more. I know it would be an easy decision for me to pay people more if I weren't paying that corporate income tax. And, you know, all these different machinations in the tax code, trying to pick winners and losers and treat, you know, one business better than another or one sector of the economy differently than another, it just messes with the free market. It's disruptive. It doesn't make common sense, and it makes people angry. So I'm all for eliminating exemptions, taxes, anywhere we can cut.
We are talking with Tom Lundstrum. He's an Arkansas businessman. Real quick, I mean, I know we've had you on before, Tom, but can you just kind of give us a rundown of how you started, and maybe well, let me ask you this question, because we've asked it before, but I always want to ask it to business owners. Is running a small business an easy thing to do?
No, it's difficult. It's fun, but it's difficult. You know, you see the people you work with up close and personal every day. I think it's a people business always, regardless of what you do. You know, you're trying to keep your customers happy and satisfied. You want to keep the people you work with happy and satisfied and challenged. I mean, there's a curveball that comes at you every day, and some of them aren't hittable.
Well, I just want to make sure we get that in there. You know, there's a lot of times people think that if you own a business or whatever, that you just get to kick your feet up on your desk and, you know, smoke a cigar or whatever. And it's that's not accurate at all. I mean, if it's not you're a risk taker, and if you're a business owner, you're a risk taker, and I think that's lost a lot of times.
Well, a lot of small business owners, I know we did when we started. You know, we depended a lot on leverage and debt to help our business grow, and you know that keeps you up at night sometimes. The bank wants paid, and so you go out every morning and you got to figure out a way to keep customers happy.
Mm-hmm. Tom Lundstrum, I appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much for coming on the program, and please keep me posted about what you're hearing from people on the ground about the economy and tax code, because I really appreciate your thoughts and your sentiments on that.
Thank you, Paul. And when you get an opportunity, one of the big provisions of the 2017 tax code that a lot of people don't know about are opportunity zones, and I'd love to visit with you about that sometime.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I appreciate it, Tom. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
All righty. Tom Lundstrum, everybody. We're going to take a break, and we're going